Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to HotelCast, the webinar series sponsored by Asksuite, the world's most awarded omni-channel customer service solution and AI reservation assistant for hotels, groups, and resorts. And talking about award solution, this is a very special edition of HotelCast. Why? Because here with me, I have four companies. They are part of they are part of the panel. There are top 10 People's Choice Awards in the 2023 Hotel Tech Awards by Hotel Tech Report. So that's pretty exciting. If in case you don't know what the People's Choice Award is, the People's Choice Award is the most competitive category because it compares all hotel tech companies across all categories. So it's basically saying that we are maybe the top 10 best solutions, I would say that. So congratulations to all the speakers and the companies that are represented here. And I'm sure this is a great way to start the year indeed. So I can only guess that we're all happy. And this award-winning panel is here to share with you, hotelier, their best tips and insights into how to drive more bookings in 2023. Of course, all we want is more bookings. So I can see that people starting to join us. So let me say hello again, everybody, and welcome to the show. My name is Paula. I'm the content coordinator at Asksuite and the host of this webinar. Please let us know where you are watching the show. We always love to see how global we can be. Write your comments, your questions to our guests in the chat. We love interactions. Don't be shy. It's your opportunity to make your questions, to ask your question directly to award winners. So yeah, please do. You can already see that here with me are the four special guests for today's live show. So let me just say hello to them and maybe hear a little bit about how was the experience of winning the award, or how they are feeling with this award. So let me start with Dan Freeman, Regional Sales Manager, UK and Ireland at SiteMinder. So hello, Dan. Welcome to the show. Congratulations on the award, of course. And Dan, could you just tell us a little bit about yourself, about SiteMinder, and also maybe why do you think SiteMinder is one of the top 10, or how do you feel being one of the top 10?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. And hello to everyone watching throughout the world as well. It's a pleasure to be here today. So my name is Dan Freeman. I'm one of the regional sales managers here at SiteMinder, focusing on our commercial efforts across the UK and Ireland, where we help thousands of hoteliers improve their online distribution, streamline operations, and increase revenue. SiteMinder's innovative online platform offers hotels and accommodation providers a comprehensive range of products and solutions to sell, market, manage, and grow their business. In 2022, the travel industry saw a remarkable resurgence, with hotel booking momentum reaching 97% of 2019 levels globally, according to SiteMinder figures, where in some markets we even surpassed pre-pandemic levels in markets such as the UK. This demonstrates the hotel's resilience and ability to recover from adversity. Our November global report, based on results of the largest accommodation-specific survey, confirms that the desire to travel is stronger than it ever was, and that's not been deterred by inflation and other fears in the market. So despite obstacles, people's intentions to travel remain steadfast. 2022 was a transformative year for SiteMinder as we introduced our new hotel commerce platform to the hospitality industry. SiteMinder's platform offers a comprehensive suite of products from distribution and marketing to booking and payments. This empowers hoteliers worldwide to take control of their business and elevate their operations, whilst being able to adapt quickly to market trends. We are really proud to have received recognition yet again at this year's Hotel Tech Report Awards, including being named the best hotel e-commerce platform by Hotel Tech Report. which was a brand new award category. We also received awards for being the best channel manager for the 4th year in a row, as well as being named the best booking engine and receiving the Hoteliers Award for the 2nd consecutive year. These awards have made a great start to 2023, and we're really excited to see what 2023 and beyond has in store for us. I'm thrilled to be speaking with all of you today alongside our amazing award-winning partners. A big thank you to Asksuite for having us.
Thank you, Dan, for the introduction. Let me just say hello here to Kat. Kat is always here with us from HotelTechAwards. So Kat, to say hello, everyone. Greetings from sunny West London. So it's sunny in London. I was before Kat saying that it was too hot in Brazil. And I got a little bit of, not criticized, but anyway, congratulations on your award, she's saying. Thank you so much, Kat. It's always a pleasure to have you on the audience. So next guest is David Byrne, VP of Sales and Partnerships at Asksuite. So hello, David. Welcome to the show. So nice to share the stage with you again, my friend. Of course, David, I already know you, but for those who don't, so could you just tell us a little bit about yourself, Asksuite, and maybe why do you think Asksuite won this award, or should I say awards, plural?
Good plug there, Paula. I like it.
Thank you. I'm feeling very clever.
Great to share with you, and congrats to our fellow panelists as well for their awards. For those that don't know me or joining and seeing my face here for the first time, I'm head of sales and partnerships here at Asksuite. I'm based in Ireland, and the accent is probably giving that away. And a little bit about Asksuite. So we are what's now called an AI assistant. We've slowly moving away from the word chatbot because it's a word that can get us in trouble because everybody's used some form of a chatbot, and this is a hospitality specific product, so we need it to be at the top of the AI game, which I think we've done again. In terms of the award, we always talk about winning the HotelTechAwards over the last couple of years, so of course it's really nice to have won it again for 2023. And always being the front face of the company, we get the recognition and stuff. So I want to take the opportunity to say for a couple of well done and congratulations to the panelists, our competitors who are in the top 10 as well in the AI chatbot space. But more importantly, the developers, the customer success teams at Asksuite, because they're behind closed doors. They're talking to our customers. They're developing the product. They're listening to the trends that are out there. They're creating the roadmap of the product for us to present it to the market. So a huge well done to everybody within our teams. And of course, it's fantastic to win it again. It gives us recognition, especially as a people's choice, that we're doing something right here, that our clients are happy, and that hopefully 2023 will bring a lot more clients to us to at least help them with their current things that are going on at a hotel. So yeah, so well done to our teams.
Thank you so much, David. Next, let me say hello to Mike Schumann, VP of Global Marketing and Ideas. So Mike, thank you so much for being here today. Some might have noticed that Klaus couldn't make it today. So we are very happy that you could come and join us. We really appreciate. And so Mike, welcome to the show. And the same goes to you. Tell us a little bit about yourself and Ideas. And why do you think Ideas is one of the top 10 hotel tech companies?
Yeah, so thank you very much for having me here. I'll do my best to stand in for Klaus. He and I have a little bit of a different haircut, but nonetheless, absolutely pleasure to be here with this esteemed panel here. Ideas, we are absolutely on board, and we are supremely proud of our awards. Most specifically, the Hotelier's Choice, because that's the opinion of our clients and the hoteliers in the industry, and we see it as a recognition of the impact that we have. Secondarily, we also have won the Best Places to Work award, which is something that we're also very proud of because of the culture of the internal impact and of the team that we like to grow. And then thirdly, we've won awards in terms of our RMS technology, as well as some other ancillary technologies that we build out. For some of you who don't know Ideas, we are a machine learning and AI-driven revenue management system. We pride ourselves in being able to provide automated optimizations to hotels. And we do that for a large gamut, whether it be the largest of the large all the way down to a smaller independent. And one of the things that we've seen and we're immensely proud of is that impact. It's a demonstrable impact throughout COVID and even moving into the recovery on the ADR and the pricing power. And if you look back at some of the impacts that our clients and some of the larger hoteliers have stated in their public earnings announcements, is that ADR has recovered, pricing power is there, and it allows them to be able to have the headroom to be able to deal with some of the hotel operations items that they deal with. And so we're incredibly excited, because what we're starting to see is that in the hotel tech stack, along with the AI engagement tools, along with our partners in PMS and along with our other partners in the hotel tech stack, is that revenue management is becoming a must-have. We recently did a survey of asset owners, investors, and CEOs, and they marked that 83% of those people who responded marked that revenue management technology, and most importantly, AI in that technology, is an absolutely critical component of their tech stack. It helps them price better, it helps them become more profitable. Most importantly, it helps with their team efficiency. So thank you very much for having me. And I really appreciate this panel, and I look forward to the discussion.
Thank you so much, Mike. Let me say hello to Natalie. Natalie is talking here with us. I asked for interaction, so of course, it's only fair that I read the interaction. So, hi, hey all, nice to see so many familiar faces and partners of ours. Congratulations on the awards. Thank you, Natalie, for joining us. Kat is always saying here, I think from what David said about the developers, well done to the developers. Yes, I think all companies, we rely a lot on the developers. So, well, but let me say hello. Last but not least, I want to welcome Valeriya King, Senior BDM, UK and Ireland at OTA Insight. So hello, Valeriya, welcome to the show. And like the others, could you please introduce yourself to the audience and also share with us a little bit about the experience of winning the People's Choice 2023.
Hi everyone. Really nice to be here today with all the winners and with everyone who is joining us as well. I would say that, well, first of all, again, to introduce myself, I've been with OTA Insight for over 4 years now, starting from business development executive, seeing how the company has been growing and what it is now is really a tremendous experience. And OTA Insight has been founded in 2012, and at the moment we actually offer a range of different products that are here to, I believe, help hoteliers to make them more efficient, to help them understand what's happening with their markets, and of course help them make better decisions about everything that they have to decide on their daily basis. And I think that we've been winners across 3 categories by the Hotel Tech Report for over 3 years in a row, which is a fantastic achievement. And we're so honored to be recognized by our customers and partners as one of the best commercial platforms in the industry as well, because I think that's everything that we do, and why we, I think, won all of these awards is because our customers believe in us. They really provide the honest feedback about our products, and they recognize that what we do provides them with the value that they need to achieve success within their professions. And again, I think that I'm incredibly proud to be working with such a professional and such a passionate team. What our customer support does on a daily basis is just fantastic. They're continuously responding to any requests within 2 minutes, and they are there to support our customers all the way through. And of course, as well, our teams, such as product teams and engineers, are always there to develop and to put out the best tech out there, the accurate data, and of course, simple and easy to use platforms as well that just add on to daily lives of a hotelier instead of taking their time away. This over like the last few years, it's been so challenging for hoteliers to operate with pandemic, with other things like rising costs. But again, to highlight someone saying before, it's just the resilience that's been shown so much, and we're just here to be supportive and to do everything we can to provide the right things for this industry. And I'm really proud to be a part of it.
Oh, thank you so much, Valeriya. Okay, so let me say hello to Lisa. She's saying here. Let me put it on the screen. Hello, Lisa. Thanks for joining us. So, all right, now that all introductions are done, let's get this started, right? The dynamic of this live show, it's pretty simple. We have 2 questions for each guest. And first, I will ask them the topic, which is how to drive more bookings in 2023. And they will share their insights into best practice trends or what they feel like you hotelier should know. And the second question is about sharing the best tip for what hotels could do and should do now to get more bookings. So stay tuned, because by the end of this webinar, you'll be able to actually have something that you could apply right now. So, and just a reminder that during the entire live show, the audience is very welcome to interact and ask questions. And just going to say thank everybody already that is saying hello here. So let's get this started. So how to drive more bookings in 2023. And I would like to hear first, Mike, your thoughts about this topic.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks for allowing me to start off. It's not nerve-wracking or anything with this crew.
Oh, no, that was not the intention, Mike.
No worries. Appreciate it. In my opinion, I'm going to use a term, right? And I call it right square. And if you think about right square, it's right people, right price, right place, and right experience. So if you have 4 right turns, you're always going to be making a square. And so that goes back to the right square. And that allows you to then focus in on direct bookings. So if we think about the right people, one of the things that we like to really suggest to our clients as they start getting into their market segment analysis, and albeit this is a revenue bench, right? But we really recommend looking back and matching back your targeted business mix and using things like what if analysis, what if scenarios. And those what ifs then drive conversations with the rest of the commercial departments so you can get an idea of what that forward-looking view is into your business. Who's coming? Who are you targeting? You should know the revenue available and some of the components of that incoming business mix. And so you can then take that back to the team and start studying who you want to come into your hotel, the right people, getting the right people. If you think about the right price, identifying that target mix that you've talked to with your commercial teams, your sales and marketing teams, your GM, et cetera, and you can start to look at and analyze those market segments inside of that target mix to make sure that you're getting the right type of business into the hotel. You can then map back to that source destination. And if you map back to that source destination, it's going to give you better visibility into how to build your rates, how to build your packages, how you want to be able to then go forward with your distribution. And then if you think about the right place, which is where you put your items out into the world so they can be consumed, is determining how to distribute what your tolerances are for those rates, what your floor and what your ceiling is. And then you can figure out how to be able to make those rates available, not make those rates available. Go out to the appropriate channels that are necessary so you can bring that appropriate amount of business in. Because at the end of the day, if you do that appropriately and you get that direct booking, you're going to know more about your guest. You're going to know more about the types of things they want to do, and you're going to be able to engage them in a different way. All of that really results in not just revenue, but profit at the end of the day. TRevPAR or TrevPAR, and the flow through down to the net operating income of the property. And then finally, that right experience. Look to engage. And this is rich of me saying that with the cast of characters that we have here, but you really look to engage that business mix coming in, because if you've got that direct booking, you'll know what the complexion of that guest looks like. Look for opportunities to identify upgrades, look for opportunities to sell packages, and really kind of flex into that ancillary revenue opportunity that you may have. And you can use your booking pace to identify those opportunities, but then you can use opportunities to identify experiences, especially of those that your guest is looking for pre, during, and post stay. And if you do all those things appropriately, you'll get a much better picture of the people that are coming into your hotel, and you can have a much more collaborative conversation across your commercial teams that'll ultimately end up in a higher level of profitability.
Well, Mike, I already wrote down, because I'm learning as I do the webinars, and I love your right square, I think you call it, right? Yeah. I'm gonna just have a follow-up question to you,
sure,
if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Well, first I'm gonna just make a comment that you were talking about, like direct bookings. Then
Yep.
you get to know better the guest, and then it always, when anyone say something in this line, like this line of thought, I always think about when I was a hotelier, because I used to work as a front desk agent, and I used to really hate, to be honest, reservations that would come through OTAs. Nothing against OTAs itself, I'm going to explain. It's because I never knew what they were expecting.
Right.
So it was like, surprise, oh, we have this wedding anniversary and we are expecting to have an upgrade. We expect, I know nothing about you, I just know your name. So I always make a comment that I think it's one of the advantages of having a direct booking as a hotelier, that as someone that is in the front line there. But then my follow-up question, actually, Mike, is you're talking about right people segment.
Right.
And I'm gonna just provoke a little bit, because I think a lot of hotels think any guest is a good guest, and they don't really, I think they don't really pay attention to that what you're saying right now. And you were saying about understanding who is coming,
right,
and analyzing data. And I just want to give also an example that a hotel client of ours, that he used to target couples.
Yeah.
Because before it was like their main target, but it changed it. And I think a lot of hotels have changed it to families, and they didn't notice. Let's say that they didn't analyze. So what are your I'm going to say tips, for lack of better word, but how can hoteliers start with this understanding, specifically the right people and segment and the data, what they should look, or where they should look for the data? Yeah.
Right. So it's a really good question, and I think part of it is the data coming into the property as the booking is coming in. So the first place that we typically look at is the booking pace, and identifying the breakout of that booking pace. You're going to have different types of business and rates that you're trying to bring in. So if you're an 80% corporate and group house, one of the things that you can look at is what's the manifestation of that booking curve based upon your typical house in that house mix. If you start to see your transient bookings go up, you can start to look at the length of stay. You can start to look at the room class that those are booking. And a really, really targeted and actually quite a good example is that throughout COVID, everybody knows that the leisure traveler was the one that really drove a lot of the recovery. And as we come into 2023, your small group, your corporate, and some of your events is starting to recover. Everyone also recognizes the fact that there's business and leisure being combined. So one of the things that we actually look at is actually quite simple, is length of stay. And so if you look at the source of the information coming in about that booking, about that person booking, if they book direct, you're going to have a whole plethora of data that allows for you to understand the segment that is coming in. It could be, for example, that a person comes in on a non-traditional, prior to COVID, a non-traditional stay pattern, which is say Tuesday through Thursday for a business trip, but now they're starting to add on additional stays. Well, then you can look at room occupancy, you can look at those segments, you can look at the booking pace versus the stayed pace, and start to diagnose what that business mix looks like. When you take that back to your operational team, you take that back to your revenue management team, you can start to see the distributions beginning to play out. And in some cases, you'll start to see things like, higher than historical exits or departures on a Saturday. That then means that you've got some sort of thing going on inside of your stay pattern based upon their purpose. If you take that, then you can match it back to how do you put together your packages, and you can look at the attach rate of those packages, and you can look at the manifestation of what people are booking versus what they're staying. Another opportunity is a really good item for being able to surprise and delight how you engage your guests. So if you've got somebody that's coming in that typically books your standard double or your standard king, and you look at that stay pattern and you know that that's going to be the best rate that's going to have the highest uptake, you can unknowingly, or you can surprise them with an upgrade to a suite, which will then take the pressure off of your highest booking room class. And those are some ways that you can free up rooms that allow for you to charge potentially a higher rate as your demand comes in and you start to see compression in that demand. You can upgrade those people, give them an experience that then will trickle down into your brand. It comes down to understanding, and then where you can, taking advantage of that understanding. Hopefully that was a pertinent example for your question.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's great points, and thank you so much for your insights and answering my question. Totally. And I'm gonna go now to Valeriya. For you, Valeriya, to share your thoughts about how to drive more bookings.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to say, some points that Mike made were really, really great. I actually took some on board for myself, so thank you so much. And maybe I'm going to be able to add a little bit towards a few points that Mike made as well. But one of the first things I put down was leveraging forward-looking data. And the reason why it's number one is because this January started in a full mode in comparison to previous years. Many events, industry events, many conferences where I have attended together with my team. And the topic that came over and over and over again was that we have to start looking at the forward-looking data, and we have to start finding new data sources in order to make decisions, not only based on what has happened or what is the same day last week comparison, right? So we need to really look at things that are going to predict what is going to happen in the future. Now, I think that we are really looking at the changes in the trends. We're looking at the evolution of those trends as well, but we can only make guesses without any data that proves that this is what is actually happening. So therefore, forward-looking data comes in so many different shapes and sizes, but the reality is that the industry still needs to start embracing it. And by utilizing predictive analytics, hoteliers can easily understand the overall trends and look at the opportunity days to drive even more bookings than what they're already getting. So just as an example, if they're seeing that demand is very high for a certain period of time, they can really prepare well to make sure that they're maximizing their ADRs, whilst if they're seeing the period of a very soft demand, they can understand which strategies they're going to implement in order to drive more bookings, or whether this is a bigger reliance on OTAs during that period and really making sure that their rankings are high, or whether this is by really targeting a different market mix, really targeting a more profitable guest in order to get more out of that booking that will come in. Then I would also say that it is very important to understand trends and monitor how they change over time in order to get more bookings into your property, because we need to understand that people change. Generations have different values, they have different needs and preferences. Things like pandemic also changed the way people travel, and that's something Mike has highlighted really well. We are not looking anymore at the typical traveler, that leisure traveler traveler travels over the weekends and business traveler travels over the weekdays. We're seeing that the business traveler actually can, mix pleasure with work, and they can stay over for longer in a destination where they can get a little bit of sun and more comfort. And all of these things are important for a hotelier to track and understand instead of just making assumptions. And I think that making assumptions is still something that was a bit left over from, I would say, pre-pandemic times, because the market was just so solid and everyone knew what's going to happen, more or less. But things are changing, and I think that pandemic really taught us that the hard way. So that's where I think we need to make more research. We need to invest more in sources that will allow you to understand your customers better. Of course, it's, the conversation happens over and over again about the importance of increasing bookings on your direct channels as well. Driving direct bookings is always so crucial due to their lower overall acquisition costs and the absence of commissions. They are even more valuable today. And if you ask what type of actions should I take, I think it's a lot of actions you can take. It's analyzing when direct bookings were highest in the past, then checking how this has developed in recent months. Again, trying to find the patterns, other similarities there. Has your conversion rate changed, and what is the geographic pattern? And that you can do by analyzing your internal data, of course. If you're lagging, check your rate parity, evaluate your traffic sources, your website's performance, and actually user experience, how easy it is to go into your website and book something in comparison to OTAs. And then consider how to take action from there, such as personalized ads or other steps to generate that traffic. And avoiding to hit the profitability of bookings via that OTA, crack down on disparity by investing in tools that also help you monitor and enforce rate parity across all channels. I think that's also important. I hope I'm okay on time, but I think the last one is going to be breaking down silos. And again, sorry, Mike, I keep pointing towards you, but because you mentioned as well about the people, right people. And I think that I would even go further, that analyzing what's happening out there, market demand, forward-looking data is very important. It can be your first step. But if something within your structure is broken, or maybe not even using the word broken, but something that can be improved, something that can be made better, you need to look into it. You need to look deep inside and granular into how easy it is for your teams to communicate between each other, how easy it is for them to make decisions together collectively versus revenue working on their KPIs, sales working on their KPIs. And we all know that they are a little bit different and sometimes counterproductive. So it is important to start improving the collaboration and conversations between sales and marketing and revenue, knowing which source markets show signs of future demand and how holidays or events will impact you, and how it actually will impact all of the different departments within your commercial structure, right? Because we're having different things that different people can look into, such as revenue managers, sales managers, and marketing managers. But what is important is how can they bring this data that they're looking into all together, so that they can have the weekly meeting that they attend and they can see those KPIs in front of them. So for example, they can actually start making decisions based on not only what sales believe to be the truth, but also what revenue manager sees in terms of their production, and where they perform better or not, and to which guest they want to put the preference into in terms of profitability and in general other markers as well. So that's it from me, I would say.
Thanks, Valeriya. And as always, I do have a follow-up question. Just a quick one, actually, was something that you mentioned now at the end of your answer. And you're talking about working in silos. And again, I'm gonna remember, it's a very nostalgic thing when I do this webinar. I remember my days as a hotelier and working in, for example, at the front desk. I I clearly remember that I have no clue of the strategy, like revenue strategy, pricing strategy, or nothing at all. And then would come a walk in, I guess, and then we say, oh, we'll try to negotiate the price. And I had no idea. Like, and I will lose that walk in, because I think it's what you're saying. We're back then, I'm talking about, well, 7 years or so ago, it was like that. But from what you're saying, I understanding that it's still a little bit like that. Or do you feel like at least hotels are more aware that this is an issue and working towards to fix it?
It's a really great question, and I think that from what I hear from our clients and what I hear in general from the industry is that it is definitely in the front minds, right? It's very important, and everyone knows it and works towards that goal to break down those silos. I would say that technology in here plays a very important role, because technology sometimes can be viewed, or was viewed in the past, as this strange thing that comes in and tries to replace humans, whilst we all know that this is not true. And technology like revenue management systems, like BIs, and so many more different types of systems do help people to see the information in a very easy way from which they can take decisions together. And just an example, when I do speak with our clients, I ask them, why don't you give the access to the tools that we provide to you, such as rate shopping, or business intelligence, or even market intelligence, to give it to other people within your organizations, because they will see things there that will be important for them. Someone at front desk can look at the events calendar and actually say, oh, okay, there is a very big holiday for the Chinese market. So actually, when Chinese guests come, I'm going to say something, happy holiday, or it's a silly example, but it does matter a lot. And in your question and example as well, if someone shared data with you, you would be able to know actually what you can offer to that potential walk-in guest. So yeah.
Well, thanks, Valeriya. Kat is saying here, breaking down silos is key. Well said, Valeriya. Collective, collaborative conversations, ensuring KPIs are aligned across the organization. Yeah. So let's go to the next one. Then it's Dan. Then it's your turn to share your thoughts about driving more bookings.
Absolutely, great points as well. It's just so great to be on the panel here, because you pick up stuff and just phenomenal points there from Mike and Valeriya. So great to hear. So from my point of view, it's all about online distribution. So every property should be tailoring their online distribution to current market trends. Every property should be reacting and adapting to changes in trends as well. You need to make sure you're deep diving on your reports and analytics on your hotel's performance. And this is going to allow you to make informed decisions on how to improve your hotel's bookings. This includes data on guest behavior, booking trends, and revenue performance. It means being smart with your sales channel mix, connecting with partners that will make a real difference at your property. Connect to the right channels at the right time at the right rate. I'd love to share some examples. So according to our SiteMinder World Hotel Index, in the UK at the moment, over a third of all bookings made in the last 14 days for UK properties are actually due to stay in February, showing a very high level of last minute bookings. Are you on channels that target this trend? How is your direct offering targeting this trend? Let's take a look at one of our partners, Hopper. They're leading a fintech revolution in the hospitality industry right now. They target last minute travelers, and what's unique about them is their market segment, where 70% of their 70 million users are Gen Z and millennials, where they focus on securing bookings through social media platforms like TikTok and Instagram. Business travel has certainly bounced back in recent months, so a GDS offering is very effective. Bed banks like Hyperguest and Hotel Trader are also a very good option. When it comes to your direct channel, being on more sales channels equals more visibility for your property, driving the billboard effect, where 65% of bookers will view a property's direct website after finding it on an online travel agent. This is then your opportunity to turn lookers into direct bookers, utilizing exclusive direct rates and rewards. Meta search. In my opinion, having a direct offering on meta search is the most important sales channel for today, for tomorrow, and beyond. In fact, 73% of people who book accommodation will use meta search when searching their accommodation. For those who need some guidance on the top sort of booking revenue makers, I'm proud to announce that SiteMinder's top 12 hotel booking revenue makers of 2022 will be released next week. So do make sure you check that out as it breaks down specific regions. Thank you.
Did we have a spoiler alert? No, like you're launching something. That was fun. But Dan, you were mentioning, you and I think Valeriya and Mike as well before. We all here, of course, we are hotel tech companies, so we are data driven. It's in our blood. And you were talking again about this, about the importance of data. But what I think from my very perspective, like small perspective that I have, is that I see there are some more and more hoteliers are willing to, yes, be more analytical and, be data driven, but they get lost. I mean, now it's a matter, now if you want to have a lot of data, and there are a lot of hotels that collect data and have no idea what to do with them. So from your experience with your clients, do you see that hotels, in what stage do you think they are? They are open to use data, but they're not sure how to use it? Or do you think they're still maybe not understanding the power of data?
Well, the hoteliers know their hotels better than any of us. So they're the ones providing the experience. They're giving their guests an amazing time. And when it does come to data, yes, I certainly agree. Some hoteliers are probably not using it to the effectiveness that they could be to make informed decisions. Luckily, I know at OTA Insight, and certainly on our SiteMinder platform as well, we've got very, very accessible insight reports. So we do give a lot of guidance there for hoteliers to take action on data points, which is crucial. I'd also recommend everybody here to check the SiteMinder World Hotel Index, where it sort of looks at global booking trends. I mentioned there the last minute booking trend for the UK, but you're able to see sort of the rise in international travel, a forecast for international travel there as well. So really make sure you're utilizing the data there. Absolutely, the data for me is the absolute key message at the moment. Be data driven.
Yeah. Someone was pressing something. Want to say something? No? Should I continue? Okay. So thanks, Dan. And I'm going to go to David because we are already heading to the end of this webinar. It's going very, very fast. So David, your thoughts about how to drive more bookings in 2023?
Yeah, as the host company, I'll keep it short to let our guests do most of the talking today. We are flying through this. So I'll keep it very basic. My tip really is to start with the basics if you're a hotelier. I mean, the great thing is we're having this conversation because the world is traveling again. So we have to deal with these subjects and talk about it openly, which is super. Now the hotels are under severe pressure, trying to figure everything out, how to handle all the incoming communication, and also which strategy they're going to take in terms of bookings. Amazingly, last week I booked a UK hotel for an upcoming business trip, and I was forced to book it on the OTA simply because the price was so much cheaper, which is just bizarre. So I would say to hotels, start there, figure out your strategy, where you want your bookings to come from. I think most hotels would agree they want it direct. But and more to Mike's point, Mike, you touched on the length of stay on a direct booker versus the OTA. There's some great analysis and data out there about the returned guest. And it's how we view a hotel. If we book through the OTA as a guest versus direct, you feel a loyalty to the hotel. You're going to book for longer second time around. You might even include a package. The OTA is a machine, and so you don't feel bad about cancelling. You do feel bad about cancelling direct with the hotel. So if the hotel can put themselves in the guest shoes, and just in terms of, these companies that are here today, we're all representing companies that provide really key software to help with the journey and the inner workings of the hotel. So, try and educate yourselves as much as possible with webinars, social media, all the different lessons that we're trying to convey across, and do the journey in terms of the guests. I think it's a 6 or 7 very quick step that a guest takes before they make a decision to book that hotel or not. Get your website right, get your booking engine right, who knows, even throw a chatbot up there to have a chat with people. There's an amazing percentage that's on the increase. 62.5% of all our global conversations, and that number is rising, happen after 6 p.m. globally. So that is down to human behavior. We are trying to get in touch. We're too busy during the day. We're all back working. We're looking for that next break in the evening. We're trying to get in contact with the hotel. Start with the basics, get the strategy right, and the direct bookings will come, and it's a much more longer stay strategy. So yeah, there you go.
Who knows? Throw a chatbot there was a good one, David. Yeah. But yeah, as always, just a really quick follow up from what you're saying, David. We already discussed that in another webinar, but I think it's never too much to say it. You're talking about the journey, understanding the journey, and it still amazes me how hoteliers don't actually know how it is, the process of booking on their own property. They do have an idea that it's smoothly, and no, it's very simple. It's very simple, and then you try, it's like, no, it's not. Yeah. So it's still, sorry, go.
No, it's just in line with that, and that's why we've created the omni-channel now. We've got the assistant across all social media platforms as well. So just another stat to throw out there, across UK and Ireland, over 80% of all the incoming conversations on our product are on mobile. So how difficult is it to book a hotel on your mobile phone? It's pretty tricky, right? Especially if you're trying to find out something. So it's about studying not just your desktop website, it's looking at your channels, making sure you're 24/7 visible as well, because people are coming from different time zones. So you might close the res department and head home at 6 o'clock. What's happening after that? Don't wait till tomorrow morning. Try and service that throughout the evening. The products are there. Just take a look at them.
Yeah, because no one will wait for you. That's one thing. No potential guest will wait for your reply or for you to figure out how to do something. It's like time is literally money in the travel industry. Exactly. We are in the last part of this webinar, which is the second question. It is, I'm going to ask each of you to share with us at least one thing that hoteliers that are watching us now or after the recorded version, what they could do to get more bookings, something that they could apply or they should start now. So I'm going to start now with Valeriya. Valeriya, what is your insight or your tip?
So I think my answer might sound very, very primitive and simple, but I'll expand on this to try to make a point. I think it's all about finding the time to analyze your external and internal data and using technology that helps you do this more time efficiently. And I know that people might think, well, we're doing this already, so maybe there is something more to it. And I think there is, because it always depends on which sources you're looking at and how in depth you're looking at them. Because even some examples about analyzing the lengths of stays, the room types, the guest country of your customer, a lot of hoteliers sometimes don't have access to this information. It is stored in their PMS, but it's still not easily accessible at a click of a button. So that's where internal hotel data can really enable you to evaluate your performance, to identify things that went well and where you didn't reach the desired results for one reason or another. And it can enable you to go granular into your own data and KPIs, where you can see all of the important hotel performance metrics and correlate them to each other. So again, why this will help you to increase your bookings is because you will start seeing where things went well and where things didn't go as you wish they went. And then from that point onwards, together with your commercial team, you can start seeing, okay, what will we do about it the next time? how we're going to get that room type booked more, how we're going to have the conversation with booking.com in order to understand, you know, what production they're given to us. And of course, external data will help you to increase your bookings, because you will start understanding what is actually happening with your real time demand versus having to base it on what happened before. So that would be my tip.
Thank you so much, Valeriya. And then I go to David. Back to you, David. Your final thought or tip or something.
Sorry, apologies. I think strategize for the year ahead. Again, I'm going to go back to the products that are available. Dan, SiteMinder, the channel manager is there, and you know, they've such a big market. So I'd say I speak on behalf of a lot of hotels that use it, that you can use these products now to look at the events that are happening over the coming year. You can open and close your channels based on events, based on things that are happening, and just be really strategic and be automated. You know, be automated. You're busy as a person. Recruitment is still a massive issue. Rely on what you have at your fingertips, and try and use it to be as automated as possible. And I think if you can get a little bit of that right, it will definitely help to increase the direct booking for sure.
Thanks, David. Next is Dan, your final tip for hoteliers.
Thanks so much. So, of course, I'm going to say all about the distribution there. So more channels, but channels, when we're on the channels, think about the target market. Think about what particular trends that channel might be targeting. How are you setting your success up on those specific channels? Is it targeting business guests? Is it targeting domestic? Is it targeting the last minute traveler there as well? Don't be afraid to have different offerings, whether it's packages, whether it's experiences. And the key one, as I mentioned before, the meta search. Have a direct offering on meta search, the most important channel, in my opinion, for today and tomorrow. And that's also the direct offering on the meta search. So that's also going to get you the prime guest data, which you might not get from elsewhere. So the prime guest data through your direct bookings, allowing you to communicate, upsell, and really bring repeat business in as well. And don't be afraid to adapt as soon as those targets, those trends happen. When there's the change in the market, when something happens that you're not expecting, when there's an event announced or something going on in the area, or as a new channel that comes out of the blue, adapt as soon as you can.
Thank you so much, Dan. And now it's Mike's turn. You were the first. Now you're the last, Mike. See, almost a song. I'm not going to sing it, but yeah.
Well, I hear you have a great voice.
I don't. But go ahead, Mike, please.
Let's just put it this. How am I going to follow David and Dan? I mean, those were great pieces of advice, because basically it kind of took what I wanted to say, but they said it much more eloquently than I likely would. I'll say this. Think about the psychology of the person that's buying. And that is a culmination of the three vendors, including myself on this call, in terms of your responsibility in the step along that psychology of making that purchase decision. And for the psychology of that purchasing decision, one of those main aspects is price. And so, as Dan mentioned, use your meta search, use your channels. I would say, a simple thing to remember is rates where people buy. And you can do that by understanding where people buy, especially with what David said, is that it's omnichannel. It's across different types of engagement. So whether you are engaging with your hotel in WhatsApp, whether or not you've got a different type of inbound guest coming from, say either, mid-Europe, or you've got other aspects in the UK that are driving the resolution of that booking pace. Rail strikes. I was in the UK last week, and that was basically the biggest disruption. But it comes down to rates where people buy. Look at the rates that you're distributing. Make sure that you are able to identify a cohort of that rate, and then work with your cross-functional, your sales and marketing teams to identify where those rates need to go, and when you need to close them, and when you need to open them. And by doing that, you'll be able to start to understand the take rate, You'll be able to understand the efficacy of those rates, and you can get back to focusing on the psychology of the buyer, then focusing on the experience of that buyer that then becomes a guest, so you can start driving those repeat bookings.
Well, thank you so much, Mike. And unfortunately, I think that's it for today. Everybody. I really hope you enjoyed the show. And I want to thank again all my guests, starting with Valeriya. Valeriya, it was so nice to have you here. You have so many great insights, and you add tons of value to the discussion. How can people get in touch with you, you or the company? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, any way you want. There is LinkedIn, there is my email. There are the events which we tend to attend all the time. So I'm really open to having a conversation with anyone. I think for people, LinkedIn these days is a very easy option. So feel free to connect with me. I would love that.
Thank you. Yeah, me too. I'm a big fan of LinkedIn. I'm there all the time. I want to also thank Mike for being here as well, of course. Thank you so much, Mike. And same goes to you. Is that LinkedIn your best channel?
I would say 3 things. If you want to contact me directly, it's mike.chuma@ideas.com. Go to ideas.com or follow us on LinkedIn and Ideas Revenue Solutions.
Nice. Thank you so much, Mike. And thanks, Dan, for being our guest today. And how can our audience also reach out to you, Dan?
Well, thanks so much for having all of us today. And I'd really love anyone to get in touch with us. So I'd really encourage people to go directly to the SiteMinder website where you can get in touch directly with us. I'm available on LinkedIn as well. So please do drop me a message and I'll be happy to assist. So it's Dan Freeman on SiteMinder, from SiteMinder on LinkedIn.
Thank you so much, Dan. And thank you, David, for being here. Always a pleasure to share the stage with you. And how can people reach out to you, David? Is it
So firstly, thanks to the panelists for coming on. It's actually been a really quick hour. I think everybody will agree with that. And thanks to everybody for tuned in or watching the recording. LinkedIn, as everybody else said, and then Asksuite, where I will be physically at the Lake Show hospitality event on the first week of March, which is in Cumbria in the UK. It's a small, intimate show, but it's a good one for us. And then the second week, we have a show, we have a stand at ITB in Berlin. So if anybody's visiting, please feel free to come and talk to us. We will be there. Mike, I'm taking it from the thumbs up. You're going to be there. So thanks a lot for tuning in. And to always Kat from Hotel Res, who is here on all our webinars asking questions. So thanks to her.
Yeah, she's so sweet. Hi, Kat. Thank you so much for the support. Well, of course, big thanks to everybody, to our audience. Thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate it. If you're interested in our solution, if you have any comments or any questions about your product, feel free to visit our website, asksuite.com. And we encourage you also to follow us on LinkedIn, and everybody. LinkedIn should pay us for this advertisement. Anyway, so thanks, everybody. I hope you enjoyed, and see you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Have a great day, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.